Whistle Jacket, the most famous painting of the... never mind. This soup is fascinating.
Welcome to Let's Roll, the podcast where every week we play a tabletop role-playing game with our guests and we get to know their life story through this story. This episode, we have the hilarious Part of Privates, the poised and distinguished and most eligible TikToker of all, with over 20 million views and 500,000 followers a year. It's Lord Christian Brighty.
Thank you very much for having me.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to see you.
Likewise. I love that you're wearing little white gloves. That's very pleasing.
I mean, if I didn't think it was going to make too much noise, I would also be wearing the kind of tailcoat that I've got with me as well. I did wonder what level of costume it'd be going for, but I'll just settle for Mickey Mouse style gloves.
That works. Also, I imagine it will really enhance any mime, which is great for me and less so for our listeners.
Yeah.
You've told us that this was the podcast you dreamed of being on. Thank you for what I assume is a compliment.
I'm the friend who DMs. I was the one of my friends who was interested in it the most, and therefore everybody has been sort of strong-armed into playing along. And then it sort of means that the games are very silly and playful as opposed to particularly rules-bound, and that's fine, because you just have to sort of allow people to not pay attention to how long the casting time of the spell is until afterwards.
Yeah, I'm the same, and I wonder if that's because our friend group is principally comedians.
Yeah.
We will be playing Dungeons & Dragons. What other TTRPGs have you engaged with?
I've played a little bit of, I want to say, what is it, Room Quest? Is
Yeah.
One. Yeah. I've been playing an enormous amount of Baldur's Gate 3. I've just finished that, which is not obviously in a room, but it's been me and my fiancé sharing one character and passing the laptop to each other. I do go fencing once a week with rapiers, and I know it's not the same thing, but even though I don't play the game often, I do pretend that I'm playing it every week.
What is it about TTRPGs that you love?
It's the playing. It's the having a really dumb excuse to be playing with your friends. It's exactly the same thing you do when you're a kid, except we all now have to have a bunch of rules to justify what I'd be happily just doing if there were no rules and we were all going to agree to run around the house. Also, nobody in my friendship group is interested in combat, so I quite enjoy the sort of nerdy technicality of those.
Finding exploits and combos and things.
Yeah.
You've brought a character with you today. You've made your character for us.
Yes.
Who is your character? What is their name? What's their race? What's their class? Tell us their secret. Not their secrets. Tell us their observable facts.
Their observable facts are that their name is Mr. Sampher Honorglass. They are a wild magic sorcerer, level 3, and their race is their human, variant human, if we're being specific.
What feat did you take?
I took 2 because I also did a custom background. I took mobile and observant. The most important thing is that he is a butler, steward of a noble house. That is his training, his life is all about being a very diligent head of household servant.
You have requested that you set this game during the Regency era, which I know almost nothing about. What draws you to the Regency period? That's such a big part of what you're doing.
Yeah. I like the boots. I like wearing the big boots. Yeah. It's pretty simple, actually. I feel great when I wear them. Yeah,
they do.
Yeah.
I like the jackets from there, having watched ostentatious and sharp.
But it's a real divide, though, isn't it? Because like the kind of Austen stuff is like so archetypally feminine as like a genre, and then sharp is so strongly masculine. All the Napoleonic stuff, and so it's kind of bizarre that like it doesn't exist in people's brains as the same thing.
Oh, there's a gap for hybridizing those two things.
Oh yeah.
I hope you do that.
Yeah, it's on a to-do list.
Yeah. Sharp and sensibility would be...
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Well, we're going to find out what's at stake, and maybe who gets said stake. Your character is, or will be, solving a magical, potentially murder mystery in a provincial town buried somewhere in Buckinghamshire. Are you ready, Christian, to do game?
So ready. Let's roll.
Oh, yeah. Sampher Honorglass is a real butler's butler. Composed, precise, and dedicated. He's also a conduit for magic and, as a direct consequence, trouble. He is a member of a secret society, the Monde Obscure, dedicated to keeping magic secret and to keeping magic safe. A graduate of King's Barrows College of Oxford, Sampher is a sworn defender of the Veil, the mystical barrier that keeps the otherworldly things otherworldly. His former employer, the elderly Lord Reed, has recently passed, and his family elected not to continue his contract. So, Sampher is on his way to the residence of one Lady Nappet, where his employment is to commence post-haste, somewhere near Leeds, I assume. At least he was. The last thing you recall is a turbulent sky bearing down upon you, riding your horse hard to try and beat the oncoming storm that is following you as you ride towards the town of Pittston. You race the very weather. You remember as your horse gallops rapidly beneath you, you holding onto the reins for dear life, suddenly realising there is a familiar rush of magical energy as you get nearer to the town. The veil here is thinner, too thin. As soon as you think that, you can feel something ethereal flood through your body as a spontaneous flash of light and heat throws you from your horse and into the plutonian depths of unconsciousness. You swim in inky blackness for a time, unaware of space. And after a period of time, who can say how long, you awake in what is undeniably quite a nice guest room. Heavy rain batters at the window. You hear a dull peal of thunder in the middle distance. Thin grey light bleeds into the room and you realise your leg is really quite sore and that somebody has placed a wet flannel on your forehead because they've read about that in books, you assume.
Aha! He's awake! Gaul, fetch the man a drink, you fool!
But of course, sir, immediately.
Gentlemen, good evening. Is it evening?
Well, near that. Damn it, what time is it, Gaul?
It is approximately 5 p.m., monsieur.
Yes, I'd call that evening, or at least damn sight close to it. Good to see you're awake, my boy.
May I apologise enormously for intruding upon your hospit. My apologies. My leg is rather giving me gip as I say. Pray, your name.
My apologies. I am Lord Surly Sproxton, the boy. It would seem you were thrown from your horse on the outskirts of town, and the locals brought you to my home to recover, which is, of course, only my duty as a gentleman to assist you, so welcome to Sproxton House.
Can I ask what I would know about this lord? Or...
make a history check.
Lovely, thank
First
you.
roll of the game, and it's history, the least exciting skill.
13 plus 15.
15, great, yep. You've heard tell of him. He's just a remarkably unpleasant man, and certainly your former lord would have had little nice to say about him. He's a landowner. He is exactly new money. He is not well loved by the folks in the nearby towns, or indeed his workforce.
Wonderful. I mean, Samtha immediately would be very judgmental of those facts, especially the fact that he's new money. That would really set him off. My good man, could I trouble you for a small glass of brandy?
As you say that, the other gentleman, a little older, a little thinner, dressed in classic butler vibes, produces a cloche on a tray and lifts it to reveal a glass of brandy.
Very good. Thank you, Gaul.
Gaul buttles out. That's the correct term, I believe.
Yes, to buttle.
The movement of a butler?
Yes, absolutely. I'm afraid that I'm somewhat at a loss as to how I was brought here, or what. You say I was thrown.
Well, that's the curious thing. Some people who saw it said lightning struck near your horse, and your horse threw you. But the weird thing was, the storm hadn't started yet.
My gosh.
It's in full swing now. It's the rogue element of lightning. I'm afraid your horse is long gone. It ran off into the fields and has not been seen since. Nobody thought to follow it.
Petunia?
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
We can happily provide you with another horse. But I'm afraid the storm's flooded out the road, so you'll be with us at least overnight.
But, of course.
You're more than welcome to join us for dinner. Cook Garrett's well aware of you, so we'll have an extra seat laid at table.
Thank you. That is most kind.
Where were you on your way to?
I was on my way to enter the employ of a Lady Nappet.
Oh, yes, Lady Jessica Nappet, yes.
You are well acquainted.
Oh, we've met. I don't think she likes me. Clumsy, though, falls off things she does.
Rather direct way of communicating about a lady.
Well, we're all gentlemen here, aren't we?
And he sort of leans over and elbows you, as if to try and create a sense of camaraderie.
Right, yes.
I'm going to roll for him. You're a handsome devil. No. Your ribs are a little bruised. It's just painful. And his breath is just terrible.
Well, if it's all the same to you, I'll leave you to prepare yourself. There's a little washroom in there if you want to complete your ablutions or whatever before dinner. Gaul will be outside. Just shout for him if you want. We did have bells, but I broke the bastards.
He just walks through the door frame and Gaul leans in, closes it, shares a look with you, and you immediately, from his facial expression, just get two butlers going, Buttle recognises Buttle. Sampha has a couple of moments to prepare himself before dinner. Whatever it is you need to do. Although if your option is, I just go to the bathroom, that will skip past it.
No, he very quickly looks at his clothes, sees that they were torn, casts mending to any scuffs that are there. Any mud on his face, he just splashes. He can't prestidigitate himself clean, so he'll wash in there. He's a little look round the room to see if there is anything.
Make a perception check.
Thank you. 8 plus 3, so 11.
11. Nothing strikes you as unusual, except that whoever's decorated this room has atrocious taste in art. Really bad landscapes where no one understands perspective. There's also just a series of very, very bad paintings of cats. Just the wrong dimensions. The cat's face looks like a person's face. They're just bad at art. And they're all signed at the bottom in cursive script, JS, and then a little X.
Before I go down to dinner, could I try and have a conversation with Gort?
You certainly can.
Sampha goes to knock on the door.
The door to the corridor.
The door to the corridor. He knocks on the door to the corridor. He's very polite.
Yes, the door immediately opens.
Yeah, okay.
Gort is like, monsieur?
Gort, I do not require anything, but could I inquire, storms like that happen often, do they? Or?
They are not uncommon in this part of town. No.
How long have you been here in this town?
Been here for perhaps 20 years, I would imagine.
With the house, you said?
Yes. I've been with Lord Sproxton since he took possession of the house, and I find him to be perhaps a little loud, but a perfectly suited lord to work for. I have no complaints.
You find his tastes. This is Sampha maybe trying to wheedle a little bit. So can he get a little bit of Can he get a little bit of more butler to butler honesty about the quality of this man? So persuasion. Lovely. Do I have anything that's going to allow me to get advantage on that? I'm going to use my Tides of Chaos to allow me to re-roll that.
Does that cause a wild magic check?
If I need to regain it, it causes a wild magic.
That's it.
Yeah. So no chaos quite yet. It's not got much better. So 8 plus 5, so 13.
13. Okay. What was the question you wanted to explore?
How do you find his tastes?
I think it would be fair to say his tastes are run a little eclectic. I have no overt issues with the Lord's stylings.
Well, good to always check in with a fellow man.
Nice to meet another gentleman's gentleman, as it were. Seeing as I'm playing a French character, he says, really generously calling that accent French, it's definitely veering more towards Spain. You have spent some time in France. Broad-ass question coming your way. What was it like at clown school? You've attended Gaulier and Lecoq.
Yeah, I did an evening course at Lecoq while I did a year abroad at uni and realised that I much prefer actors and performers to lawyers. I was doing French law. It was a bad choice.
French law?
Yeah, I did law with French law and then studied a French uni and made no friends there, but made lots of lovely French friends at Lecoq, which is an amazing school where they teach you such incredible technical skills. But I was only there for the evening course, so I left with no technical skills and then went to Gaulier, which teaches you real spirit and an ability to find beautiful, dumb, big things, but again, no technical skills. So I've done 2 years plus of theatre school and come out with no ability to mime despite the Mickey Mouse gloves, which is a real pity. It was so informal in that you could go and do a single 3-week module or go do a term and then leave and come back. It was actually quite flexible.
Yeah.
And there's no big expensive entrance exams that you pay. It's actually just you just pay the money and you can turn up. There's no audition to get into the school. And so that means that we ended up with people who never would have gone to another theatre school and for good reason, but in that space got to shine and find really beautiful, wonderful things.
I never considered that's a real accessibility limiter for the British theatre schools, because you generally the commitment is you do in 3 years.
Yeah.
Or not at all. That costs money, but there's also the commitment of time.
Yeah.
I'm curious, I've had a couple of friends of mine do the thing you said. Friends of mine who've done 3 or 4 years at Gaulier at different times. What was a normal week, if there is such a thing?
Well, I feel, just also before I answer that, I feel like I should give context about who he is and why people go,
yes,
what
please.
it is that I'm even talking about. So Gaulier was a teacher at Jacques Lecoq School, and Jacques Lecoq was amazing physical theatre maker and teacher in the from the 60s onwards. And then after a while, Gaulier was no, stuff this, I'm going to set up my own school. he's a clown teacher. He taught Sacha Baron Cohen, Emma Thompson, and his work is all rooted in making stuff that is playful and real in the space, as opposed to a sort of contrived, infinitely repeatable thing. You go up on stage for an exercise, and if you were bad, he would gong you off within like 5 minutes, and it's literally like a gong, like a big drum that he hits.
Everyone I've spoken to about Golly has a story about the little drum.
Yeah. And, that might literally be 5 seconds. And that's it for you for the day. You've got 5 seconds on stage. But I tell you what, if the reason that you've not been allowed to go on stage is because, say, like you were just stomping your feet around and actually it was like really horrible to listen to, you are never going to do that again. And so actually like those lessons are quite well told. And then when somebody, maybe it's like a day where, like, I don't know, you wake up, you sort of feel kind of good, you feel a bit more relaxed in yourself, and then he stops you. And then he starts making fun of you to your friend who sat next to you. And then you go, actually, no, I actually can do this, Philippe. And then you fought back against him a little bit. He's interested in you again.
Oh, because that reaction is real and not...
Well, he's provoking you. He's wanting you to kind of be a bit of a rebel. Like, people did have genuine moments of breakthrough where you watch them find a way of being funny on stage that was totally new. Like I sucked so badly for so long, and then eventually it was just like, well, we're all relaxed because Chrissy B's on stage, isn't he? Chrissy B's out, and then just sort of ran around the stage, and then I had a briefcase full of props, and it fell open everywhere, and I was like, yeah, of course, this is what happens, and it was glorious, and it was really exciting to be able to like celebrate the failure in it. You just have to do it. Like maybe with like improv, like you can talk about the theory of improv, but until you actually stand up and see that you can open your mouth and do it,
it's a practical skill.
Yeah, and so I definitely feel like there's a gap between words that get said and then what actually my body can do. It's also really fun. You're living in a tiny French town and everyone's hot, and there's one bar to drink at, and the wine's £5 for a bottle that's the best wine you've ever had.
Lovely stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds idyllic in a way, and also there's a little drum.
Yeah.
I've had dreams like that. We return to Sampha, having mended his clothes, had a little chat with Gaul. A couple of minutes have passed. Gaul's buttled away. The sash windows rattling in the pane. The storm outside is really raging. Then you hear a little gong. A little drum is beaten from downstairs. And you hear, "Dinner's up! Come and get your food and that! I'll bang the gong again! And the drum, I've got two!" The house is otherwise quite quiet. The sounds of the storm resonate. And you hear from somewhere else in the house a chair scrape on a hardwood floor. You hear a couple of sets of footsteps.
Sampha's having thoughts of it. I'm going to have to fix that. Then he's remembering, he's like, these aren't my responsibilities. There's sort of old habits die hard.
Yeah. You sort of buttle your way through the house. Freelance. This isn't your space to buttle in, but no one else is buttling in the corridor right now. And you buttle your way down a set of stairs into a grand hall through an annoyingly creaky door that also gets added to your list. Present at dinner around a lovely large table of dark mahogany with a couple of candelabra sat on top in gold. Okay.
He's new money, maybe.
Yeah.
Already soup is being ladled out by a stout, red-faced lady wearing a massive an apron covered in stains. Centuries of stains, passed down from cook to cook to cook. The first meal is on there somewhere. It's the Turin shroud of baking. Gaul is stood at one side looking slightly annoyed. The cook is doing it here and not in the kitchen. Surly is sat at the head of the table. Next to him is a young lady, perhaps 22 years old, give or take, who looks super grumpy to be here. Sat opposite her is an older gentleman, clearly of breeding, who is dressed impeccably well, very sharp features, almost hawk-like. Also at the table is a slightly awkward-looking younger chap, maybe in his mid-20s, who is dressed well, but clearly not nobility. You can see he looks a little uncomfortable in the clothing he's wearing. He's washed his face, but has missed some dirt.
Okay, right.
And no one's mentioned it. And his hair is just a little unkempt. It looks like he's latterly come in from the storm. His clothing's a bit wet. Sproxton will say,
our guest is here. I honestly cannot remember if I asked your name, or I've forgotten it, or I just didn't bother. But introduce yourself. Or tell Gaul, and he'll introduce you. I can't remember. Does it matter?
Gentlemen, my lady, I am Mr. Sampha Honourglass. A pleasure to make your acquaintances.
Right, I'll do the honours then. We'll go to my right. This is my lovely daughter, Miss Jane Sproxton.
She does a sort of seated curtsy. Imagine that.
She's like lifting up the skirt from under the table.
Yes, if anything, seems to be very excited somebody new is here. Just from a quick look of her face.
This is Cook, Miss Garrett.
That's Mrs. Garrett? My husband's dead, but I'm still married.
We also have my erstwhile friend and house guest, Lord Louis Sebastian.
The hawkish gentleman just immediately... It doesn't turn his head, he's just facing you.
and just nods, almost imperceptibly.
And this young man is Matthew Kurth, who's my farm manager, who's just coming from outside sorting out vegetables out back. Isn't that right, Matthew?
Yes. It's not really been the season, but I think we certainly have defied nature this time around.
I think Sanford will be a little bit appalled that the farm manager is also sat at dinner, ticking off like all of these things of propriety. It's just complete. Oh. Lord Louis Sebastian, I think Sanford would immediately be like, who is this man? Do I know this man? Is this man a...
History check, please.
Thank you so much. We've got an 11 plus 2, so 30.
Yeah, you know of him. The Sebastians are a noble house.
Mm-hmm.
He is the current head of that house, I suppose is the right term.
Yeah.
Older money, has never married, never taken a wife. They own land in several patches across the United Kingdom. Notably owns a beach on the south coast.
Realising who this is, Sanford, the derision that he's felt for everything else in the room, this has sort of spunked him up a little bit. He's standing a little bit more upright and is being certain to sort of comport himself just with a level of more. He's a very status-obsessed man.
Yes.
And so very much wanting to maybe not quite sneer as openly as he otherwise might have planned.
A bowl is placed in front of you. An alarmingly thick pea soup is spooned, well, ladled, I should say, into the bowl, and then slowly moves to fill the bowl. Steam rising off of it. Gaul whips a napkin out and places it upon your lap, as he's done for everybody in turn, and then returns to just standing immediately to the right of his lord, and one pace back from the chair, at which point Cook goes, "All right, I'll take that down to the kitchen then, will I?" Just hikes the tureen up to the... makes our way out.
Soup spilling.
Yeah.
Onto the,
Oh, yeah, there's the footprints of soup all through the hall, which Gaul, almost like he's on wheels, moves back to a small cupboard, opens it, gets a mop, and just quietly bottles around.
By no means Sanford's main priority, but just sort of being conscious that he might not be able to comport himself as he would like, anxious about how this is going to taste. Is there any chance that he can subtly prestigitate the soup into just tasting of pea soup? So that, like, he's just like, I just want it to be what it's promising.
Would you give me a sleight of hand check, please?
Yep. He's not the best at that, so I should have...
I'm going to let you have advantage for this.
Okay.
Principally because I imagine you're sort of doing this under the table.
Yeah, we've got a 13 on that one, and then
Right.
with advantage, we've got a critical fail. So thank you for that advantage, because that would have been really bad.
1 second. Cool. You take the opportunity to conjure a little palatable flavour into the pea soup, which you can see that Surly is attacking with a knife and fork, as are the rest of the guests once they've given up on spoons. To be fair, they all seem to be having a reasonable time with it, but it's hard to read whether that's because it's good or because they've acclimatised. You carve a little pea soup off, and it tastes perfectly lovely because you've conjured it in such a manner. Would you make another perception check for me?
Yes. 2, that'll be 5.
That's quite all right. So, yeah, you don't notice anything unusual about that, other than the fact you're eating soup with a spoon, a knife and a fork.
Yes.
There is not a tremendous amount of conversation over dinner at this point, but Surly's kind of goes,
Do you like the house?
It is a very impressive house, my lord.
Yes, I've got these paintings done.
and he points up to behind him, looming over him, is a sort of 12-foot-tall portrait of him, just looking super buff. It's his head on the body of a much younger man.
And is this the same artist as the
Not as the
ones
cats, no.
adorning my bedroom?
No, I paid for this. The other ones are Jane's. Jane's a keen painter, aren't you, love?
Again, she looks at him, like,
Yes, Father, I do.
turns to you, completely different facial expression.
I do rather enjoy painting, Mr. Honor-Glass.
They are captivating.
Oh, thank you. I have been trying quite a bit, although I have very few subjects, save a cat. Do you paint, or draw, or have any artistic intrigues?
No, although I have had the privilege of observing many fine pieces of art.
Oh, is that right? What's the best one? What's the best art?
Well, as I'm sure your daughter would attest, art.
There's a brief pause as you all hear the daughter rolling her eyes.
Each individual viewer of a piece may feel their own heart move in different ways to different paintings. So I think of Samfer as he's realised that he's explaining the concept of perceiving art to this new, like, realises that it's not. And he pauses and he goes, I really like the one of the really big horse.
I love horses as well, and horses in paintings, so we have that in common. Was it the horse you were riding that was painted?
No, the Whistle Jacket, the most famous painting of the... never mind. This soup is fascinating.
Lord Sebastian, he doesn't make a noise. The function of a man clearing his throat happens. There's no sound. He just looks up. Well, this is fascinating.
You are local to this area, Lord Sebastian?
I travel a considerable deal, but Lord Sproxton and I are old acquaintances, and I'm residing here for the foreseeable. I certainly shan't be travelling in this weather. Well, nor shall you be, I imagine.
No. Where do you... sort of thinking that like we have to move on from horses and weather. Yeah, I know that Lord Sebastian's going to...
As he said...
Yes,
as he says that, Kurth, the farm manager, has been having a really good go with the spoon and just sort of gives up and just sort of puts his hands down in frustration, inadvertently hitting the bottom of the spoon and sending it flying across the dinner table. A perfect sphere of soup lands just on the centre of the tablecloth and rolls away. Everyone's thought process is briefly interrupted as everyone just turns to stare at him. He's like,
my apologies. That was an error. Because I wanted to eat the soup, and it's over there now. So I might just pick up the spoon.
And Gord's like, allow me, sir. Reaches over, picks the soup up, pops it back in the bowl. And you see Gaul, just a little bit of Gaul die inside.
I try and
At which point
catch eyes with Gaul to just send the pity.
You do catch eyes with Gaul. You don't get the same camaraderie as you did before. You get a little bit of suspicion from Gaul, and you can't put your finger on why. And then the doors burst open, and with a thunderous thud, as you see these two enormous golden door handles slam into the walls. All right, Lake, I've got your men. She dumps a massive cloche on the table, lifts the thing off with no considerable effort, and reveals beneath... right, you've got roasted pheasant here, and seasonal vegetables, which, full disclosure, are potatoes. But I have cut them to resemble both carrots, sprouts, and broccoli. And also potatoes, which was a redundant use of my time. Bon appetite! Gaul begins to carve. Cook has a series of different sized ladles for gravy. You do realise that for some reason this is a pheasant served with beef gravy. That's at least unusual. Everyone sort of selects the next set of cutlery in.
Yes, Sanford's thinking, well, at least they have that, right? I'll
Yes.
put that down to Gaul.
I'll go and, I'll leave then. Because I'm not allowed to watch this, am I? As that happens, you sort of look down, and as you look up, there's some bread rolls and various other bits and bobs, and Surly's like,
For the love of God, woman, get back to the kitchen!
yeets a bread roll across the room towards the cook, which she catches, and then saunters out, muttering to herself under her breath.
I don't know why we keep her on.
Father, honestly, you must find a way to stay your temper with that woman. She's very sweet in a lot of ways.
She's nothing but trouble. Only keep her on because there's no alternatives, and it's that or I just eat salt. And Lord knows that's expensive.
Sanford quips, I think to Lord Sebastian, maybe to curry favour, it's an ill-judged thing. God forbid what it would look like if she had done something to his meals.
Give me I suppose, persuasion to sort of pitch this as a joke.
That is a 11 plus 5, 16.
16. Oh, great. Yeah. Surly. Yeah, well, exactly. What would it look like? No, this is honest. I won't like this is one of their better meals. No, it would look like that porridge she made the other morning.
Sanford makes a mental note to try and leave before breakfast the next day.
Had a bake. The meal continues. Mm-hmm. There's light, polite conversation, none of which is plot load-bearing, and I'm not going to roleplay all of it. There's a little lull in the conversation as Surly is halfway through an anecdote about a frog that he's obviously making up that never happened.
And honestly, it just jumped straight upon a log, and I genuinely didn't know what to do. It was the size of a small cow. It was...
He just pauses.
I honestly don't...
And as a result, you sort of look up from your plate and look at him, and he just looks uncomfortable. He's going a bit red. And then he starts to shake, and foam appears in his mouth. James,
Father!
Gaul rushes to his aid, and he falls out of his chair. As he's been struck, a seizure of some kind. What do you do?
I this is now me absolutely looking down my... what would he practically do? First question, is there anything that I can tell about the quality of the him foaming at the mouth? Is this obviously like, oh, this looks like this poison, or this looks like anything magical, for example?
Could you make an Arcana check, please?
Yes. I think it's going to be 10 plus 0. Yeah, that's 10.
Okay. You can't get an immediate sense of it being magical. Give me a medicine check just to sort of square the circle, as it were. Is that a phrase?
That's a 13.
13. Okay. This doesn't look like any sort of ailment you've ever come across. Certainly not one you've heard about. Lord Reed was plagued with all manner of shit. Mm-hmm. You're well versed in this sort of thing. Mm-hmm. It's also happened at a weird moment as you think back.
He wasn't chewing, he was just looking at me.
Yeah, he wasn't chewing. He was in the middle of a sentence. He wasn't chewing. There's nothing in his mouth. But also it happened exactly as some thunder pealed through the room. There is something off about this. You can't put your finger on exactly what. And there is a little pricking in your fingers. Mm-hmm. The scent of lemon on the air, and you can't explain where that's come from. That you're not 100% what the nature of this is, but you think it is otherworldly.
I think in which case he isn't going to... I don't think he would then do anything.
Well, while this has gone on, Lovely has downed knife and fork and is waiting to see what happens, but is not eating any more of this food. Jane is freaking out, loudly and shrieking her father's name.
Papa, Father, somebody help, please!
Gaul is sort of fanning his master and trying to get him to sit back up in the chair. Kurth has gone...
I'll get water.
And has excused himself from the room in search of a pitcher of water or what have you. And the cook is blithely unaware she's not there. Surly, as you can see, is being propped up in his chair by Gaul and is turning violently purple. He's breathing. His eyes are rolling back into his head.
Oh, that is bad. Okay, I think Sanford now thinks he's made an error and that he should have gotten involved sooner.
And then Surly sort of slumps. Seizure reaches a crescendo. Unconscious, breathing heavily and loudly. Okay. When he was once bright, almost vibrantly purple, he's now incredibly pale. You can see dark veins against his skin. Oh, gentlemen, I apologise for requesting this, but perhaps my lord should be placed into his bedchambers, and then we can see about the...
But of course, Sanford stands up, ready to assist and be hands-on immediately.
The two of you, between you, manhandle him upstairs to his bedchambers, place him there, and you take the opportunity to make a couple of observations. Mm-hmm. One is he's incredibly clammy to the touch. He's got what we would call, I would think of as a flop sweat. He's pouring with sweat, breathing loudly and raspily, but still, obviously has a pulse, obviously still, moving around under his own accord, sort of writhing, but nothing that, even at the moment when Gaul steps outside to get water and Jane runs in a flurry, is like,
"You must let me help! Gaul, I demand to see my father!"
And runs in and goes,
"Father, I prepared a flannel!"
And places that on his forehead.
And then Sanford goes, "I think I know where my flannel came from."
Yes. And then she's like,
"I don't know what else I'm supposed to be doing."
And then storms out as if that's somebody else's fault. You are alone in the room with him.
Can I just look at the window? Can I look at the storm?
Yeah. Make me an Arcana check, just to see if you clock on anything unusual.
That's a critical one.
A natural one.
I mean, can we roll on the
wild magic surge table?
Yeah.
You betcha.
I think this matters.
Okay. You attune yourself with the winds of magic, the otherworldly currents that exist beyond the veil that you can feel permeating in this town, and recharge your tides of chaos ability. And as you are looking out of the window, you become suddenly aware you are hovering 1 foot off the ground as you inadvertently cast levitate on yourself.
Sanford kind of tries to push himself back.
Give me a strength check.
Okay.
Pull yourself down to the ground.
That's a terrible... No, this is the last thing. This is his worst case tonight. This is not what he wanted to happen. He rolls a 4 on his strength check, so I guess he's still floating sort of at the curtain rail height.
So what actually happens is, with that 4, you grab the coving around the wall, and what you do is you pull your upper torso down,
so he's now...
but your legs float upwards. Like you're in 0G. So what you are actually doing is hovering a couple of inches off the floor, but the wrong way up.
Yep, upside down. Can I hear anyone coming or anything like that?
Not immediately.
Okay,
Gaul has comparatively only just left the room.
Yep, okay, good. And I've immediately managed to do this. Fantastic. Yes. I probably can't even see out the window if I'm upside down now, because the ledge is probably at a certain... Right, so we're really staring at the floor.
Give me 1 second. Okay, you are continuing to rotate. So
Oh,
your
great.
head is now directly beneath your feet.
Okay.
But you are continuing to rotate around. The momentum of your pull is bringing you back up.
This is a real physicsy question. I'm wondering whether I can mage hand and push myself down with my own mage hand. Is
Yes.
that- Yes.
Yes, you
Yes.
can.
Great. And,
Sure enough, a spectral white-gloved hand appears.
it's white glove. That's gorgeous.
Just on the top
on
of your head.
on the top of his head. And you know what? As he does it, 'cause it's been a tough day, gives himself a little pat and just pushes himself back to the ground.
Yes. Just as your feet connect with the ground, you hear footsteps. Gaul's footsteps. They're a particular buttling rhythm.
Yes.
Approaching the room.
If I take that hand off, I'm still going to be levitating, aren't
Almost
I?
certainly.
I could be pulling myself down, couldn't I? Like I
Yeah.
could sort of move it back.
Scruff
to
of the
back
neck.
Scruff of the neck. Just sort of holding myself to the ground like a balloon with just my mage hand at the back.
As you do that, holding yourself down to the ground, the door opens with another annoying creak, and that gets added to your mental list. Gaul enters with a couple of old, thick, brown glass bottles of liquids, presumably medicine, pottering around the house. And by which I mean, it's the Regency area. Cocaine.
Yes. Yeah.
In
good.
one of its many forms, because they've got one trick,
Yeah.
and they play it well. Which Gaul enters the door and is like, Monsieur, he closes the door behind him with a considerable intent. I have gone to some considerable pains to prevent things of this nature happening in this house. What spell did you cast at dinner? That question from a layperson would be wild. Normal people do not know about magic. The veil has been protected. That implies something quite significant about Gaul.
Right. I'm remembering the look that you give it. Gaul, I hope that you will not take great offence at this, but at the sight of your charming cook's pea soup. Took it upon myself to purely just ensure that the soup would taste of soup, given that the soup was not under any definition soup. And so it was a pure desire to be able to keep up the decorum. And may I apologise for the impertinence, because the pheasant was delicious.
You see a little bit of tension relax in Gaul as he makes a pretty good insight check and realise you are telling the truth. Look, this has not happened before, and I accept your apology. It is just... And also, we've all had this soup. You can understand why, if this were to happen, and a stranger has come to the house, no disrespect is meant or intended.
But of course.
You see the link that could be made.
Absolutely.
The village folk are very aggressive and stupid. They will kill you.
Yes.
To smithereens.
That was unnecessary, and I was fully aware. Right. Well.
But I promised I would dispense with the analogies and so forth.
No. That's absolutely. And in the way that I appreciate you understand our shared profession.
To which profession do you refer?
Look, we both know about magic. I'm not talking about a butler's profession.
I'm with you. I alluded to this, but let us speak plainly as Monde Obscure members. Former members.
Former members.
I no longer practice.
Well, you must practice. That's how you can keep... Oh,
no,
sorry,
you misunderstand me.
beg your pardon.
Yes.
Sorry, yes.
Are you holding yourself down with a fancy white glove at the neck?
Why would you...
You are stood in front of a mirror.
Yes, that is what I am doing. Yes,
Just so we're all clear. Monsieur Onoglas, I believe my master has been poisoned, or in some way harm has been visited upon him with intent. I know not by who, save not by me, and I trust not by you. You are a stranger here, and I suspect may well be better able to investigate the cause and source of this than I am, and will know me to be very loyal to my Lord Sproxton, and perhaps would be less candid with me than they may be with you. I would ask for you, if you could, ask what questions you may, conduct what investigations you can, and try to find the source of this malady.
Sampha remembers that it was when lightning struck when this happened, right?
Yes.
This is an inference that we can think that
Yes.
When I was found, it was said that lightning struck near me, and if I'm not a fool, I believe that occurred just before your good lord was taken ill. You said before that storms are not uncommon in this area. Do you have any reason to believe that these storms are not natural in origin?
Well, yes, is the simple answer. My understanding has been the veil has always been quite thin here. I know not why, but it is one of the reasons I've stayed with the house for quite a while. I have taken non-magical but ultimately mundane measures to prevent otherworldly occurrences here, which clearly have been insufficient.
I see. And you have no suspicions that Lord Sproxton is aware of these happenings?
He does not enjoy reading.
I apologise for overestimating your master. Out of just a sort of convivial kindness and just sort of a shared sense of butlering, and also out of a sort of kind of desire to have something familiar to hold on to, Sampha reaches into his jacket and says, "Can I proffer you a drink?" by chance? Sorry, that's me actually putting out.
For the audience at home, Christian is presenting us with... I genuinely thought that says Star Wars whiskey, and I was like, what? Why isn't it blue? A bottle of, Starwood Nova. Ooh! It is a single malt. Oh, from red wine barrels. Oh, that smells nice. Well, now you have inspiration. Court reaches into his jacket and produces 2 small glasses.
A man after my own heart.
Yes.
Sam, for a moment of sort of grounding, do you have any reason to hold suspicions of either of your guests this evening?
I am not unaware of some harsh words spoken between my lord and Lord Sebastian, the details of which are lost to me. I was simply passing, and as butlers do, I overheard tone rather than content. Miss Sproxton is also not best pleased with her father, for he will not allow her to marry, and she very much would like to. Lord Sebastian has made sort of secret of his interests in Miss Sproxton. I believe Mr. Kurth, the farm manager, has eyes for her as well, as it were, and the cook out and out hates him. There is no love lost between the two of them. They despise each other, but it is something to watch.
I think Sampha at that moment, kind of almost like chastising him in a sort of butlerly way, sort of takes off a single... Is he wear a monocle? I don't know. He's got one on.
He takes off one of his monocles.
He takes off one of his... Two separate monocles on chains. He takes off one of his monocles to really underline his point. You would suspicion the cook, then, a woman who exists under your employ. This is quite a serious thing for Sampha.
And I would say, honestly, I don't think I would, if only because why now?
And can I just roll? I mean, I feel like I pretty much trust what Ghoul's saying, but I just want to try and divine if there is anything that Sampha feels he's holding back on.
Give me an insight.
I'm
not going to roll.
20.
In his opinions about the other people in the house, you think he's being perfectly honest. There is a story you are not being told about why he no longer practices magic and why he is no longer a member of the Order. And you get a sense of avoidant shame.
A feeling that Sampha knows strongly. Is there anything around the bed of the Lord that he's been either like correspondence, or is there anything that he might have been drinking or consuming near there?
No, other than on the night table, there's a lot of crumbs, which suggests it's just like a sort of nighttime snacking habit, and you can also see that somebody has repeatedly not used coasters on some very nice furniture.
I've been holding back for a lot of this, but is there any chance that I'd be able to just quickly cast mending on that? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
As you do, you see an immediate spike of anxiety from Gaul, and then it kind of eases away, but there's like the second it's clear you're casting magic, you are now no longer levitating.
Oh, that's great. That's lovely.
Even the simple spell like mending immediately makes him super uncomfortable.
Gaul, would you mind explaining to me why me doing work here that clearly should have been done has disquieted you so? I would assume that your standards would not brook.
If you will forgive me, I have said all I intend to say on the matter. My lord seems comfortable and stable for the time being. I shall retire in order to wake up early and see what can be done. If you'll excuse me. He buttles through the door. Which is a reasonable time to segue into another question. You are affianced. I mentioned that because I never get to use that word.
I don't think I've heard that word before. I'm going to infer what it means from the word that has fiancé or fiancé in it.
Technically inferring it from Latin, I suppose. You've talked quite a bit on the internet, which we all seen that, about...
You've got to look at it.
You and your partner, Amy?
Amy, yeah.
Being both neurodiverse.
Yes, yeah.
How do you navigate the neurodiversity within that relationship?
Oh, what a beautiful question. This is lovely. It's why it works. Like, I'm ADHD, possibly ADHD. Amy's definitely autistic, possibly ADHD as well. We don't know. either of us, we've got the opposite amount of the one, basically.
You both started at different ends of that and are meeting in the middle.
Yeah. And I think in that like very ADHD way, when I first met Amy, my brain went fizzy in that way that you're just like, oh, you're great, you're interesting and compelling, and you never run out of the conversation, which is this wonderful neurodiverse thing where like you meet somebody who also has some variation on it, and it's just the conversation can go endlessly, and it's so much fun. It's been really hard for both of us at different times because, unsurprisingly, being an ADHD individual, that can mean that you're not always the most reliable or consistent of persons. And so, like, maybe that sounds like a stereotype, but I mean, like, over the course of, like, a long relationship, you know, there's ways in which she was also the person who pointed out to me that I had ADHD, or probably pointed out very gently, was like, I think you possibly could have it, knowing full well I definitely did. The relationship wouldn't exist without this configuration of neurodivergencies, and they are the best qualities of each of us, I think. The patience, and like having been in the relationship now like nearly 8, I think actually tomorrow is the anniversary of us first officially getting together. Yeah, it's cute, yeah. But the other side of it is like having learnt the specificities of how our neurodivergencies come out. Say if, you know, you have a sort of meltdown type overwhelm thing, like definitely I think early on I didn't necessarily understand that wasn't my fault to have caused that, and then actually the difference of actually going, oh, this, we don't need to put blame on this, and actually it's so much more important that I'm here to comfort this person. No one's ever asked me that question about the neurodivergencies of the pair of us, other than that I adore how her brain works, and it just works together really well like a puzzle.
You're fine. This is great.
Is this okay? Yeah.
Let me take a swing with a sort of slightly clarifying follow-up.
Yeah.
You've talked about this in relation to your relationship, but you also work together as creatives.
Yeah.
How does that translate into that? Because you're making your Radio 4 show and so on.
Yeah.
There are clear parameters there and like really stark deadlines with production work.
Yeah. I think it's the fact that like it needs to become our shared baby and sort of special interest. Like it is the thing that we are currently really enjoying, and sometimes especially with like creative stuff, like you give more than if it's a 9 to 5. You have to sort of throw everything in it, and happily. And I think also the best and funniest stuff comes out of playing together and having fun and feeling dumb in a room, and when the pair of your brains like fizz in exactly the right way, that comes about. Also, like the reason why Amy is such an incredible writer is that she has the best pattern recognition of any human being alive. Like, my God, like she is just she's so good at character, she's so good at story, and also she consumes media voraciously. Like she just absorbs it all, and so like just can pull out references and has a fluency with stuff. I was sat watching, I think, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and I was there with Luke Rollison and Tom Penn, who were like good pals in privates. We were all in privates together, and they both got like English lit degrees from Oxford, cleverest boys in the world, because they were like talking about what it was about. And end of the film, Amy just sort of turns around and goes, well, clearly like she's free at the end of the film. I can't even remember how good the quip was, but everybody just sort of went silent, and she was like, oh yeah, that is right. That is the correct take. Whereas it's quite rarely in a conversation about media does everybody go, we can stop talking about that now because that's correct.
You've solved that film.
Yeah. And then I really like jokes because I've got ADHD, so it works as a pairing.
Great. For the purposes of Sampha, I think you've got two options. Do you want to have a little rummage around any of the areas of the house? Probably not bedrooms, because of propriety. Or you could wait till the morning and start what I'm going to gently call interrogations.
Sneaky investigate time. Definitely.
Yeah,
let's. Yeah.
So, non-bedroom rooms available to you. You can make your way down to the kitchen. You could have a look at the grand hall. There is a conservatory and a billiard room and a reading room, all of which are unoccupied to your knowledge. Certainly, they're not bedrooms.
I'm going to confess that Sampha has a cheeky indulgence that he does when Lord Reed was absolutely out for the count with a horrible combination of opiates and cocaine, was going to the billiards room and having a lovely time playing just by himself. I guess quite Richard Herring in that way.
But billiard time.
Yeah. So maybe restraining himself from going straight to the billiard room. He's going to go down to the kitchen. I know that he wasn't eating the moment it happened, but it was at dinner, so I'm just going to go check to see if there's anything sus in the kitchen.
Okay. You wander into the kitchen. Nothing tremendously out of order here, except that it is a kitchen that's seen a great deal of activity over many, many years. It's very lived in. Lots of pots and pans, and like a pile of pots and pans stained just charred, all manner of stuff has bubbled out over them. They're waiting to be washed. There's a huge, thick slab of wooden bench. A kitchen island is what we would call it now. The thing that catches your eye is there's a fireplace in the kitchen, which wouldn't be unsurprising, and there's space for a rotisserie for roasting various meats and what have you over there. And in the chimney breast, just underneath, so it's not immediately obvious, you wouldn't have spotted it if you weren't looking for it, there are a series of iron nails tied with a blue ribbon, hammered into the chimney breast, roughly at the centre. And you know of this, it's an old wives' tale. Supposedly this sort of thing keeps witches and the fae away. Iron is supposedly anathema to magic. You know it's not quite that simple, but you understand the intention behind this.
Yeah, I'd like to go and have a little look at these nails in the chimney.
Sure. Like I said, it's a bundle of about 6 nails. There is some ancient herb. Some ancient herbs have been put in that bundle as well. It's been in a chimney. Those herbs have seen better days.
Right,
There's a sort of charred old organic matter there.
And there's not obviously something the other side of them in the
No,
chimney.
you kind of look up the chimney. There's not like a demon in there going,
Right, sure.
hello.
Yeah, right, sure.
Could
Yeah,
you
yeah,
remove the nails, please?
That would have been really convenient. He'd have loved that.
Just more chimney in desperate need of a sweep.
He makes a mental note if he sees a small boy to point him in that direction.
Yes. But you have a little potter around the kitchen, you check some cupboards and what have you, and there is nothing immediately obvious here. In the absence of the cook, there's certainly nobody to speak to. Billiards room?
Is he going to let himself play a quick game?
Let me lock roll. Yeah, okay. You look out of the window, you can see lightning flashes. And for a second you see the garden is illuminated. It's a well-kept garden. Kurth is doing a good job. You can see just beyond that there's like sort of vegetable patches, and weirdly there are carrots ready to go. And there's a few other bits, like there's a nice little flower garden immediately outside. There's a big statue of Cupid looking all fancy in the garden.
Garish, I assume.
Oh yeah, it's not nice.
Yeah, good.
Old, suggesting that whoever had this house before had similar poor taste.
Yeah.
There's a couple of trellises with climbing plants, clematis or what have you. The garden is much more tasteful in terms of the plants and the way they've been cultivated than anything in the actual structure of the house.
I'm wondering whether he might try and see if he can catch somebody else who is also awake. Like wondering whether it's possible to have a late night brandy with maybe Lord Sebastian. See if there is somebody else in any of the other rooms.
As you scout around the house, you can hear the unmistakable sound of billiard on billiard.
Sanford immediately, possibly a little bit too giddy, thinking like actually he might be able to get a game in and not just have to play against himself, given that he's actually a guest here and not even he's not actually been able to play for years.
You open the door. There are lanterns lit in here. Looking up at you, as disappointed as you are, is Lord Louis Sebastian, who looks up. At which point he then, with a sort of plonk of, again, billiard on billiard, he fires a cue ball off the table onto the floor. It rolls and hits you in the ankle.
I reach down.
Simply put me off of my game.
May I remedy that by suggesting that we take one another on?
Yes, do the honours.
He collects the balls, racks it up.
Any news of Sproxton?
He is still, unfortunately, out. With luck, he may recover in the morning. Have you ever seen him like that before? You've known him a long time.
Oh, red-faced, yes, many a time, but not quite like this. He pours himself an enormous glass of brandy. This is clearly not his first. Yes, well, I shall shed no tears for the man.
You've known each other a long time. That's a harsh
Rather
words.
too long, if you...
Well, no, I mean, to be...
The break is yours, by the way.
Oh, should I roll a dexterity?
Give me, let's say sleight of hand. It's hand stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. 20.
20. A gentleman's 20.
So at this point, I confess I actually don't know the rules to billiards. I know pool.
Yes, so do I.
Yeah, okay, great. Can we just...
you just sink all of the balls in one. At which point, an eyebrow is raised, turns, and just watches this and goes, checkmate. And he knocks over a king that was positioned under the side of the table.
I've had some practice.
I'm rather glad we didn't make the wager I was about to propose. You always this good at billiards?
Quite the eye.
You must attend my club. You shall play for the entertainment of my friends, and I shall be able to downplay your expertise. And yes, if you have no moral obligation to betting, then I think you and I might be actually find ourselves in the position to make a steady profit from your ability. If you have no objections, and why would you, of course?
It's quite hard to object to gambling when one is in the employ of the aristocracy.
Quite right.
Yes.
In fact, no, allow me. You're not employed here. I shall furnish you with a brandy now that we have this accord. And he pours a generous, but not as much as he had, measure of brandy, and hands that to you.
I must say, I was surprised to find a man of so high a standing in the household of someone more...
It is ghastly. Everything here is like a child druid.
It is a true relief and balm to hear you say so, if I may not be too bold.
I pray you speak plainly, sir. I would not be here were it not for my circumstances. I have... If we can speak as men.
Please.
I have some debts. And Lord Sproxton is aware of this, for he is very much holding the other end of the string, so to speak.
I see.
I am here to avail myself of some time, and if truth be told, I have made no secret of my interest in taking the hand of his daughter, but he seems absolutely unwilling to allow her to marry anybody. The groundskeeper, or whatever it is they call him, clearly is making eyes at her as if she would look at somebody without noble standing.
She did not, if I may be as well, seem particularly enamoured by anybody at dinner. So.
No, I think you'll find she gave me quite the look.
Of course, sir.
Give me an insight check.
Thank you. 10.
He's here under rather a little bit more duress.
I mean, I'm going to try a persuasion check. It is not uncommon for me to have been in a position to advise my old Lord Reed when he was in a similar pickle.
Reed? There was a drinker's drinker.
Well, if there's anything that I may assist in terms of... I understand the complicated arrangements of aristocratic things are
Well,
always...
actually, Sproxton may have in his writing desk a letter containing some details of mine, and it would be a terrible shame if that were destroyed by you in a fire. Do I make myself clear? He thinks he's alluding. Or in a well. Or just torn up.
Yes, no, I understand fully.
Or scribble over it so it can't be read. No, that one's less effective.
I mean, Samfer, I think at this point doesn't feel like there's an obvious reason why he would be wanting to poison or try to murder. Would killing him be...
Make a wisdom check.
Thank you. 20.
Oh, gentleman's 20. If the situation is that there is a potentially incriminating or damaging letter, if he had the letter, then that would make a lot more sense.
Yes.
You feel confident it would be utter insanity for this man to have poisoned him at this point. He has a motive, but the opportunity and means don't quite mesh.
I will see what I can do with regards to the letter, my lord.
You excuse yourself and make your way back through the dark corridors of the house. Creaky floor, creaky floor, creaky floor. Give me a perception check, but I'm going to roll to see how loud something is.
14.
Yeah. As you are making your way through the house, you hear muffled, raised voices. And a lady and a gentleman having a row, for want of better terminology. You can walk towards the noise, the ruckus, if you will, or would you like to be discreet about it? I don't want to make you do that.
No. I would like to be discreet about it. I was debating casting a large on my ear, but I don't.
Oh, one thing I will do, you've got a massive passive perception score. As you are making your way, lantern in hand,
Yes.
you notice a thing you haven't noticed before. The stone door frames all have runic carvings into them. Very subtle, very light, but wards against Fae, you recognise.
Wow. Can I just quickly read those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no rolls required. They're
cool.
They're like basic standard wards. You don't even need to know magic to do them. You just need to know the format. But very few people who hadn't been trained in the arts would know them. But this is the pro-level version of the nails in the...
Right.
Like, this does stuff.
Okay, yeah, right, sure.
But they're not wards against magic. Wards specifically against the fair folk. Then you hear a door slam from the direction of the argument.
Bugger.
How dare you insult me like
I
this?
don't know. The moment just took me. I didn't think anything.
I could
thought,
be done with
Henry
you.
Running high,
Oh, I shall throw a chair at you. Or perhaps this vase. No! Don't you dare touch that!
Can I scramble over in that direction to hear the remains of... Yes. Can I roll a stealth check, I assume? I don't
You absolutely can.
I roll low.
And you immediately barrel into Mr. Matthew Kerf, who is storming away from a room.
Oh.
My... Sir?
Mr. Honorclass, was it? Sorry I've run into you. That wasn't my intention.
He looks, if anything, more dishevelled than previous.
And he's certainly a bit flushed.
Is this a sort of flush? I know you heard something of a row, but does he look sort of dishevelled, as if he might have been in a state of undress, or in any particular frisson with lady if there was a couple having an argument? Has he taken any clothes off?
Let me rephrase. It looks like he's rapidly put some clothes back on.
And I think that is the type of thing which Sanford would be able to recognise.
Yes. And he's doing that. You step to one side, he steps to the same side, you step to one side, you're in a corridor. He's eager to get past you. He's clearly uncomfortable.
I wonder whether this is an opportunity to try and do a little bit of intimidation, try to wheedle some stuff out of this man. Obviously, it's a very distressing evening, sir, seeing your employer in such a state of care, for fear that, if something untoward were to happen, it would be very dangerous for you to be walking late at night here. Is there any...
No. Nothing out untoward about tonight.
And then the door behind him opens up. Like,
You absolute oaf! As if this was the evening to propose. Hello, Mr. On a glass. Why didn't you tell me you were talking to somebody, Kurth?
I didn't realise. I was just leaving.
My apologies, the pair of you. Please allow me to excuse myself.
Jane has come out of the room. Also, is a little dishevelled.
Right, yes.
The inference is very clear.
I think Sanford feels like he has the summation of it, is going to try and excuse himself. He might just try and hang round the side of the corner to see if there's anything else that he can sort of glean following on from this.
You mutter a sort of excuse.
Yes.
And just bottle into the shadows and away, and then immediately stop. And when you just hear in muffled voices like,
I proposed for a reason.
Well, obviously you proposed for a reason, but my father has been taken ill.
Well, yes, but he's the one who's in the way of you selecting a man to marry. I love you, and I don't want to delay spending the rest of my life with you. This is the perfect time to leave your tyrannical father, build a new life that I can provide for you.
Dear God, your timing is impenetrable.
No, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking.
It's a mercy I didn't let you finish asking the question. Otherwise, I'd have to reject you. Then where would I be? So, there. I was hoping that would be a better end to the sentence, for I intend to storm away.
Clap, 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 clap.
Before she comes closer...
she's storming back to her room.
Oh, right, okay, cool.
And I smashed my best vase throwing that at you. I made it myself, out of a larger vase.
Well, we can return to this at another time, I suppose.
Yes, I very much think we should. You have a night's rest, and see if you can find some propriety in you.
And so you hear her open a door and go,
Sorry, Cook, this is not my,
and then opening another door.
Oh, wait. No, yes, that's where I live.
And then you hear the sound of broken crockery.
Ow! Ow!
You hear a couple of footsteps walking towards you, sullen, as Kurth is making his way where you are.
I'm wondering whether Sanford has seen your lovely Fade etchings and Gardner spending a lot of time out in the garden. I think there is a higher chance of bumping into Fae who are just strolling through a nice Fae door from the Fae world. I'm thinking of like lovely boughs that I've seen
Would
in
you like
forests.
to have a nighttime garden explore?
Let's go out into the garden.
All right. You have said, and I'm quoting you directly here,
Oh dear.
there is something so funny about the men in films and TV shows, period, in square brackets, period,
Yeah.
film and TV shows. An innate contrast of what is genuinely really sexy and alluring about these mysterious brooding men and the standards that we hold them to in their behaviour. They don't match, and you think there's something very interesting in that gap. That's the quote. How does that open up possibilities with comedy? Are we talking about their behaviour in the context of the time?
I think I mean that about like all of it. Partly probably why I said that was because I think I was also talking about men now and really about the dangers of charm and how charm is such a powerful permission slip for dickheads. There's a gap between how we want our fictional characters to behave and how we want people to behave in real life. We're so happy to write off terrible things they do because we're sort of enjoying and enamored by them. But there is an extent to which, like, if the charm goes up of somebody in real life, then they also sort of get away with a lot more. Where it's right for comedies, because I think if you create a character who really believes their own shtick, you just have to point out the like irony between how you expect to be treated in terms of like this sexy, like you're never going to be held to account douchebag, and actually like what the consequences of your behaviours are. Like I think a lot of what we do with like the many wrongs especially is there's a more realist quality to it, to the actual how men behave in period dramas, unless you go to the really sad ones that I don't go in for. I'm more into like Poldark, and where it's all like dramatic and broody, and it's like, oh, there's a lot more like sighing than there is actual tragedy. And I think the sighing's great. The sighing's the funniest stuff, where the men are they take all of their misery so seriously.
Could we have an example just to calibrate the audience?
The harvest is failing, and that means my wife doesn't love me. And that's why I have to have this affair, like, to bring the harvest back. I don't know. Like, it's that level of nonsense.
That's how harvests do. We pick up with Sampha bustling his way to the garden, having gotten away from Kurth. You make your way to the conservatory and through the double doors at the back of the conservatory into the garden proper. You have a lantern with you, you have a light source. There's still occasional cracks of lightning and accompanying peals of thunder.
How many elephants is it between... They'll have seen elephants at the London Zoo. Yeah, between the lightning and the thunder.
One. And
Close.
it is consistent.
Right.
You are peak period drama hero entering a storm. The rain slaps against your face. Your hair is wet and whipped around in the air in harsh weather. Debris, leaves, and whatnot are blowing around. And you see directly the path leads from the conservatory through down a sort of high-hedged pathway to the statue of Cupid. You feel again that pricking in your fingers and that sudden rush of, I guess you'd call this adrenaline. You get a real sense as you approach the statue. It is like a lightning rod for magic. And you get within about 30 feet of it, and lightning strikes the statue. Twice. A wild magic surge erupts from your body as a sort, almost like a discharge of it. Like you have to get rid of the magical charge, and it comes out as...
For the listener, Paul's eyes just widened.
I'm going to read the entry on the chart. Roll on this table at the start of each of your turns for the next minute.
Okay.
You have a wild magic cascade. As the next thing that happens is you immediately sober up from the brandy. The statue of Cupid, it's uninjured, unaffected by the lightning, save to say that the high hedges either side, between you and the statue of Cupid, there is now a shimmering door-like shape.
Wow.
And then... There's another crack of thunder as a 6-foot-tall mechanical orb with arms and legs appears next to you, just screaming, runs into the night.
They said it outside, not in the house. Right. I approach the doorway.
Yep.
And I think at this point, something is happening for Sampha in terms of like the volume of magic that's coming out of it, even trying to deduce what's happened to the Lord, but actually, he's just genuinely curious and is going to walk right towards the door.
As you walk towards the door, you grow 10 inches in height.
He crouches slightly, grabs hold of the hedge and maybe like, is it like a piney hedge? Can you smell that pine?
Yeah. You touch the hedge, and the leaf you touch turns into a butterfly.
Perfect.
Which is immediately, now I think about it, swept away in the storm.
Well, it's not real. So
weirdly, the inverse of the butterfly effect.
Right.
This storm caused a butterfly. As you get to this shimmery, it's like there is a thin veil of water between you and the statue of Cupid and the rest of the garden. You can see through it. And as you get closer, when you look through a pane of glass, you can see the reflection of the room you're in and the room outside. And you can see the garden beyond it. Where the reflection of you might be, what you can see is, it's like a little chamber, like the inside of a tree, lit with just floating little lights. There is a table inside there. You can't make out much detail, but it is a small room. You cast fly upon yourself.
And this time have a little bit more control over my
complete
actual movement.
control.
Okay, great. He flies through the doorway.
You fly through the veil. You suddenly realise you are no longer in Earth. You are in Fae. The Arcadia, if you will. In a little pocket room. There's no clear indication why it is here, other than it's been here for ages. And what you can find in here, it's like a little workshop. It might have been a shed at one point. On the table, there's clear evidence of somebody who's been practicing magic. That it's real amateur hour territory here. There's evidence of potion making, albeit vastly inefficient ones and wrong stuff. Imagine walking into a kitchen and seeing that somebody had tried to make a creme brulee, but there, for some reason, it are apples.
While it's really amateur efforts, is there a level of organisation to the actual workshop itself that might belie someone who at least has an interest in precision?
Give me an Arcana check. Nat 20, baby. No.
Okay, right.
No. I mean, with a natural 20, I'll give you this. This is somebody who's self-taught. Somebody who has some kind of natural ability and has developed it outside of the regulations and rules of Le Monde Obscur. I mean, the technical term for that is a witch.
Yeah.
And they don't allow those unless they can be recruited. That's just super dangerous.
Is there anything about the penmanship that is particularly refined in itself, or is it really...
No, it's a little scratchy.
Okay.
There are misspellings.
Okay.
It is imprecise. And there's a couple of examples here. Potions of cultivation, where like sort of advanced fertilizer. There's also a little small crystal made out of what might have been amber, and then sort of charmed to be necromantic in nature to take out rodents.
They're the ones going for the rhododendrons.
Yeah.
I don't. Rats don't eat flowers. Never mind.
Yeah, it's a rat-catching spell, but it's been done so weird. Normally, you just ward against rats if that was what you wanted to do. This just kills rats within a certain radius of it. This is a little time bomb ready to go off. This falls off the table. A load of rat souls burst out. Like, this is just dangerous to have around. It's a rat grenade. The other thing that you can spot is evidence of the clear construction of a curse. Imprecise, inelegant, but a curse. And a curse designed to slowly drain the life from another person, but to make it seem like food poisoning. And as you are investigating this, Matthew Kurth walks through the veil. He panics.
It was you.
And he seems real pleased with himself, like he's turned the tables somehow.
I'm still floating at this point, right?
You are. Oh my god, yeah, you're flying around this space.
Using that to Sampha's advantage, he immediately said, I think you've had enough rough and tumble for one evening, boy.
I think I've got some left in me.
And he balls his fists and charges forwards at you, swinging a punch. It's not great. You're flying, so you just move gently to one side, and he's gone for a real haymaker. He's massively telegraphed this, like an old-timey boxer. His fists are bent backwards, like he's going to punch himself in the face. And he swings and misses and punches right past you, and...
Oh, no.
No, it's fine.
Okay, good.
Stumbles past you. You may have, if you would like, a attack of opportunity as he moves through your
I am going to
threatened space.
pull out a little letter opener dagger and cast Booming Blade. A spell which you must roll an attack for, but then the target is going to be ensconced in a thunderous energy if they move. Something which he would have done often at magic school in order to ensure that other boys or girls are kept in line. Because although we're in the Regency, actually the magical world may be a little bit more progressive, we hope.
Yes, it is.
Good. So he has to actually succeed on the attack. So I've got a 20 with a +4.
A gentleman's 20.
A gentleman's 20.
You have succeeded on the attack. I believe you get to knock some damage out of the boy.
5 hit points.
You cut a dueling scar across his cheek.
You can thank me for that later. I'm sure that the lady, once she's heard everything that you've done here, will at least enjoy remembering the charming scarred man who she will no longer be courting. If you move, you will be hit with the full power of 100 thunderstorms. I'm trying to be like intimidating.
Oh, give me an intimidation check. That's the logical follow-on from that statement.
Yeah.
With advantage, though. Because you have just cut his face and summoned a...
5 plus 3? Yes, 8. It's not the most intimidating. We'll put that down to my
You do
my
have
stamina.
inspiration, lest we forget. And my house rule for that has always been, it's a reroll, because it's the only way that makes sense.
Go on, let's do it.
But you're rerolling with advantage, lest we forget.
So we're on 15, so would that be... so I can...
You have another one in there if you want.
Okay.
See if you can beat
Yeah,
15.
why not?
No!
Critical
is the
one, so we'll go with the
resounding
15.
answer. 15, though, he's turning around as you're saying this, and you can see his hands are already well into the hand stuff you need for spells. He pauses. The little energies of green glowing light around his fingers dissipates as he lowers his arms.
What will you do? This time, Sampha takes off not one monocle, but both monocles.
Yeah.
Both of them off, but holds them sort of up, sort of to make a point, as if he's holding glasses.
You're still affected by fire. They hover.
Yeah, they hover. Oh, I love that.
Just orbiting his head.
If you were under my household and I was the head of this household, you do not want to know what I would do to you. The barbaries that we would inflict upon you where I had been the head of the household. And I do not recall in Othenary's encyclopedia on serving that there is a chapter on cursing one's master. And so let me explain to you here. You are a fool of the highest order. And I have no desire to bring more of these otherworldly forces down on this place. But you listen to me. You do not know what you are meddling with. I can tell that from your amateurish writing in the same way that you clearly are an amateur gardener. A gardener who needs to kill rats with poison. I mean, if there was one thing that our gardener in our previous house enjoyed was the joy of killing a rat by his hand, by all accounts. If you had any honour in your profession, you would have the blood of rats on your hand instead of the blood of your master. Now, you either remove this curse, or I will remove you from this plane.
He looks down.
You'll have to allow me access to the table so I can undo what I've done.
Sampha, I assume he just stops the casting the spell?
Yes. You wave it off with a flick of your blade, but you keep the sort of little energy of the spell dancing along the blade, ready to go again as a warning. He moves to the table.
You understand why I've done this, right? He'd never let her be happy with anyone, let alone a farm boy. I'm not of noble birth, but I can more than make up for it, with whatever power I seem to possess. We were going to elope, and then I would have learned to master all of this. I could have built the perfect life I never got to have. Now I've ruined everything.
And he reaches and grabs the crystal full of rat souls.
Oh no!
Do you want to make a dexterity check to see if you can get in there first with something?
Yeah. How quickly could I cast Enhanced Ability on myself?
Quickly, because it's more fun if you do.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I cast Enhanced Ability on Dexterity saving throws.
Yep. Is your intention to grab the crystal before he does? To smack it out of his hands? Or to do something else?
It's to stop him reaching for it, like grab his arm before he gets to it.
Go for it.
So, we get a 5. Yes, that'd be 7, and then let's try again. We've got a hot 8.
I have a cooler 6.
Okay.
He reaches with a crystal full of rat souls, the grenade we mentioned earlier on. How would you like that to go? You have a blade in one hand and he has an open palm.
Yeah. If it's not too rude for Sampha to stab his hand through the palm with the letter.
You fly towards him and just over the table jab the letter opener into the palm of his hand, pinning it to the table.
Ah! Ow! It is the only true tragedy here is not that you were unable to marry a lady of noble birth, but that you were foolish enough to ever think that you had the right to. And even if you had eloped, even if you were foolish enough to do so, what do you think? Do you think you could ever give her what it is she wants? Do you think if she welcomed you back here that you would be able to run this house? Do you think that you could command a man like me?
As you say that, you see something in his eyes dim. The defiance that was there ebbs away. He's just a boy clutching his injured hand with his other, less injured hand. He nods his head. His other hand goes to the table to one of the scraps of parchment. And he grabs that, scrunches it up, and just puts it to one of the floating candles. Like flash paper, if you will. Just it's gone.
I want you to know that while it looks like he's going to say something sincere, he's actually going to cast sleep on it.
That's quite a lot.
Yes.
I'll say this. Those 2 dice knock him out. Meanwhile, somewhere in the house, a rat who has made its way in the night, like, ha, 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 now I will learn how to cook. Passes out.
Oh no. That would have improved the soup. It's a pity.
Yes, and yes, he lies there on the table, still sleeping, a knife in his hand, but it's not causing active wounds, so I'm going to let this slide. There have been so many Pride and Prejudice adaptations. Were you given a theoretically unlimited budget, what would your Pride and Prejudice look like?
Oh, that is such a good question. Frankly, an unlimited budget just means that you can do it at all, given it's so expensive to make any
Yes.
of them, which is the main thing.
Our producers just confirmed the unlimited budget includes the ability to resurrect actors.
Oh, wow, that's a big budget.
It's an unlimited budget that includes a magic wand.
I don't think he'd want to do it, and I think he's now... Actually, no, maybe he's not too old. And it's just a crossover, because I think he's the most handsome man in the world. I was going to put Aidan Turner in for it. I think he's great, and because he brewed so well in Poled Up, but maybe he'd do a good Wickham. My brain's fizzing with too many options. I just...
When you said good Wickham, I'm like, that's a great greeting. Why aren't we doing that?
Good Wickham.
Good Wickham.
Good Wickham to
Good
you.
Wickham to you, sir.
Yeah. I think what you're watching is a man who's just never given himself permission to imagine any of this. I'd do it as a movie as opposed to as a TV series.
Right.
I think romances work better as single arc-y things. I think what the 2005 movie cut out compared to the BBC series was really good. I'd restructure it so that we see most of the film from Mrs. Bennet's perspective. And we see Mr. Bennet not as a frustrating tyrant, but as a sort of impossible to move around obstacle, and actually how she, through her care, turns herself into somebody really ridiculous, and the villain of the piece being just a sort of very disinterested man who holds all of the power. And so maybe I would actually want to rewrite, obviously, because I was like, I want to put it on, but I also want to just rewrite it. Have it so that maybe Mrs. Bennet's idiocy is an act, and then behind that is a genuine cunningness and her actually trying to do very clever contrivances and manoeuvrings around Mr. Bennet to try and get her daughters married.
That's interesting.
Well, she's seen as a ridiculous character, and actually, she's in such a bind. She has 5 daughters. Her husband is really not interested in this at all. The impetus of the whole plot of them, we need to solve this as a thing, is what needs to end up happening. And, turn it into a heist movie. Mrs. Bennet, at one ball, is going to get all 5 of her daughters married and has done some incredible planning to try and pull that off.
My idiot brain just called it Bennett's 11. It would be 5. Bennett's 5.
Yeah, Bennett's 5. Yeah. That's my pitch.
Classic.
Yeah.
Lovely. You leave Mr. Kurth sleeping and pinned to a table in a fey realm and step out of the shimmering veil back into the garden, into a calm, stormless space.
Lovely. Have we got some dawn happening yet, or not? Not quite?
A little light rain falls, and because it is cinematically apposite, yes, the sunlight is breaking over the horizon like incredibly fast milk. What?
No, run with it. Fast milk.
It's a terrible simile.
No, it's the first bit of milk that leaves the cow.
I'm really bad at similes. I'm like me. The warm glow of the sun is illuminating the house. You make your way in. Gaul is pacing around the kitchen table, clearly hasn't slept, pensive, concerned for his master. Sees you enter in. He's also realised the storm has stopped as he looks up to see you come in. He's like, Monsieur, you have been outside in the absence of a storm.
Yes.
And yet you seem quite wet.
I have something rather embarrassing to show you, if you wouldn't mind coming with me.
By all means.
And Sampha takes him out to the gun. I think hoping, as well as wanting to go, this is your employee, you need to clear this up. On the way out, Sampha asks casually, do you get to spend much time in the garden?
No, the house occupies much of my time, you see.
But you must have been out here before?
Quite rarely, actually. I've never been able to explain it. I never feel at home here in the garden. I feel somewhat on edge. And then he stops dead in his tracks because he's seen the Fey door. The blood drains from his face, and he is having a reaction you would describe as abject terror. He stops speaking and just is shaking. Are they here?
I have not seen.
Have they come for me? Tears pour down his face. I knew this day would come.
No, go. I try and grab him by the shoulders. I have not seen any Fae. Your gardener is the other side of that door. He has been the one who has been putting curses on your master. Tell me, who are you fearing coming for you?
When I was a younger man, the arrogance of youth, I was involved in magical practices through the order that attracted the attentions of the Fae. And many of my compatriots are no longer here. And yet I fear they are not dead. They were taken. I barely escaped. I have looked into the eyes of insanity. Into the eyes of a creature that had absolutely nothing but contempt for me and hunger inside it. And it came through a door exactly like that. I cannot go into their realm.
Again, one hand on his shoulder. I can. But I believe that this may be a fear that you may need to overcome. A butler, a head of a household, has a duty to protect his household and a duty to have an eye on his staff. And you may be afeared of that contempt, but what is it to be a butler than to not hold a bit of contempt in your heart?
He looks down for a moment, wipes his eyes, brings his right hand up to meet your right hand, framed against the shimmering background of that, and the two of you, as one, walk into the shimmering veil. And just from behind from the house, you just hear,
Gone! I appear to have shat myself.
and that's the ending, apparently. We leave the fate of Matthew to everybody's collective imagination. Please, everybody email Christian with what you think happened. So, thank you so much for playing, Christian. This was a treat.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for dealing with the occult and regency shenanigans. How accurate was I?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, okay, great.
Yeah. It's not magic, so it's I could get finicky in the
That's
Regency. But yeah. There's rats, so you know.
There are rats. You can't escape a rat.
Mm-hmm. I had so much fun. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. We can incorporate some of that into your Pride and Prejudice pitch at some point.
Definitely.
Mainly the rats. Tell our listeners, where can we find out more about Lord Christian Brighty's escapades, and where can we follow you online? Do you have anything coming up we should pay attention to?
You can go and listen to The Many Wrongs of Lord Christian Brighty, which is the BBC Radio 4 sitcom that I wrote with my fiancée Amy on the BBC Sounds app. And you can follow me at Brighty Boy on Instagram, TikTok, and on other platforms.
So yeah, that was grand.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Let's Roll is a production executive produced by Cary Morrison. World building by Joshua MacGregor. Scripting by Paul Foxcroft and Joshua MacGregor. And your cast members are Christian Loveless, Alex McLintock, and Andreane Rellou. And it was hosted by me, Paul Foxcroft. Thanks for listening, and we'll roll again next time.